Listen, if your throat looks like a dog belly, you're too fucking old to serve in Congress.
Welcome to the Patriotic Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Patriotic Podcast. I'm joined by Danny O. I am your humble producer, Ryan G. How we doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm doing just fine myself, man. We've been up to a lot. I want to dive right into some shit because it's going to take us a while to cover everything.
Get after it. I know you got a list. You've been talking. Well, we've just been really busy. There has been so many events, and
yeah, this was a wild month. The month of May for sure for Warfighter Overwatch. I mean, just last weekend alone, we have 3 events going concurrently that we were either participating in, representing Warfighter at. Four, right?
So the Giants game, softball, the spousal retreat, and
and the tournament, the golf tournament,
and the golf tournament.
Man, so I want to start
Not
off
our golf tournament. That was a
right. We were participating in
Yep.
And representing Warfighter at.
Yep.
Chrissy held that down for us, right?
She did.
All
Thanks,
right.
Chrissy.
Shout out Chrissy. And then I want to start by giving a huge shout out to Chris Smith.
Bro, Chris Smith. So I met him through you, and essentially he said he wanted to do this softball tournament and let Warfighter Overwatch be the beneficiary, the recipient of the proceeds. And Fawn does everything logistically for our events, which I'm glad because I would screw up, but she didn't have to do anything for this one other than send me, and I spoke for a little bit. And I was going to go for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and we were both going to go on Sunday.
Yeah.
That got changed, and we'll talk about that. But it was, to be honest with you, it was a huge turnout, even though some folks backed out and pissed Chris off. I love him. He's such a great, genuine person. And as I've said, the more that people hear about our mission, the more the need grows. So when people hear about us and they say, hey, I know someone who needs help. Hey, I know someone who needs help. Now, hopefully that'll coincide with donors growing as well. But
that happens a lot more frequently than people come to you and saying, hey, I want to give you a bunch of money.
Yeah, here's $10,000.
Yeah.
So he did this event for us, and they raised over $7,000. And it was absolutely, first off, I love any competition. Anytime people are going to get after it, I enjoy it. I love sports. I'm very competitive. And I will tell you this, there was a girls team out there that was wiping the fucking floor. First off, they wouldn't even let them compete in the regular girls division because Chris knew it wasn't fair. So he's like, it's just not. So then I went and watched this team for a while because I walked around. I went to all 4 of the fields that were there, and I watched part of every game, got pictures, some video, and then I sat there and watched that team. The other team complained. They were crying about, getting beat, essentially. And I watched them make some dumb mistakes. First off, so they got 4 outfielders. Softball's a little weird to me, but essentially there was a runner on second. You got to stay on the bag and then tag up and go. So pretty standard. So they're waiting to tag up. They do. The center fielder catches the ball and throws a piss missile to third base and fucking gets him out, right?
Hell yeah.
It wasn't even close. It was 2 feet. You're fucking toast. So then the very next inning, they got someone on second, and guess what? They decided they were going to try her again. You didn't see her do that? Listen, man, that was Bo Jackson-esque. I promise you. Bo Jackson used to throw people out, and they were like, he ain't supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And she did the exact same thing again. She caught a ball deep towards the fence.
You just gunned him down.
Gunned him down again.
Yes.
And that guy was even more mad because he knew he shouldn't have pushed it. You think you can run on her, but clearly she is a beast.
Aren't those 60-foot base paths too?
They're 60-foot base.
So yeah,
fast.
she's throwing straight laser beam.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I watched her do it, and I was like, oh, after the first one. The second one, I'm like, oh, he's not going to do it. I guess he is.
Yeah, your own funeral, pal.
Ow. And, so they were, something to watch. It was very exciting. And so several $1,000s, that's going to help a lot of people, man. So big shout out to Chris Smith and the Trash Softball Association.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for that. Dude, the Giants game.
Yeah, so Sunday we were supposed to go to the trash softball, would have been the last day on Sunday. And on Saturday, we got a message and then a call from the San Francisco Giants asking if we could attend and be the honorary captain and give the official roster and batting order for the Giants for their Military Appreciation Day. Fawn was like, hey, do you want to do this? And I'm like, no. Yes. Are you out of your freaking mind? Yes. And so it was, everything you can imagine. Get on the field, hanging out with Lucille, the mascot. You get pictures. The Giants do the lineup right in front of you. Get the on-field official cap. They got the OD green one. So, and then because I am who I am, I'm over there talking to the umps about shoes.
Yeah. That one guy was rocking Jordans, huh?
He was. He had a pair of 11s on, and I was like, are those 11s? And he was like, yeah. He's like, what do you got? And I had some OD green because I knew they were going to give me the hat. They asked my head size, so I brought some OD green J's that I have. And the manager for the Marlins was like, I see you. Yeah, it was cool, man. I'm such an awesome experience to have.
It was crazy being down there too.
And see, Warfighter on the big screen on the scoreboard. It's big for us, man.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And then dude, sitting where we sat was sick too.
You get to see everything.
Yeah.
It was a great view. So I had not been over, like I said, so that's on the visitor side. I had not been over there. So when I came home, it's funny you say that. I told Fawn, there's another Ghirardelli thing over there. They have a Guido place, Gyro for you non-ethnic folks. And then, which is just a Middle Eastern taco.
They're the best.
They're so good.
They're so good.
So, and you can get a crab sandwich over there too. There's so all the things that you can get on the other side.
There's like bars and stuff everywhere, and it's
not packed over there.
Did we stand in a line?
No,
now
2 people.
It's like
that was the beer line, I think.
The stadium wasn't exactly jam packed given our performance this year, but
we won the last 7 out of 8.
That's true.
We had a great game that game.
Yeah,
it was exciting. It was a fun game.
We did. We got our asses kicked yesterday, but we won't talk about that.
No.
But yeah, man, like that. And what was really cool about sitting where we were is that, and we talked about this. I'd never really thought about the view outside of the stadium. I'm always so transfixed on the game.
Oh yeah.
But when we were sitting up there, you can see the entire
the bridge, the bay.
You can literally see the entire bay.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So it was just the backdrop was nuts. I actually really enjoyed sitting up there, dude.
That was so, and we also gave away 50, 60 tickets to that game. So there's lots of folks there that were first responders, military veterans, because it was Military Appreciation Day. It was awesome for us to have those folks in the stands to get to enjoy some much needed respite. And I listened to this mom. So they have 3 kids, all under 4, 3. She has twins.
Yeah.
So they had 1 kid, then they had twins. And husband's a firefighter. They are so busy. He works mandatory overtime and all that stuff. So she's like, we haven't been to a game in years since before the kids were born. And we haven't done, XYZ. And the in-laws came up from San Diego. And so they got to spend some time with the in-laws. The, kids got some grandparent time. They got a night out at the park and a little date. Those things for us are huge because we know that, number one, that helps rekindle intimacy and communication among couples. And it really facilitates that connectedness that we're trying to reinforce with the families who go through, separations and hardships because of their jobs, their career.
Well, and I think that in any career, really, especially for first response, you do often find yourself in a rut. I mean, I've done it, you've done it, and you fall into this routine. And the first thing that goes out the window is intimacy, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And the second thing that goes out is communication. And what moves in is shit like resentment and stuff like that.
Bitterness.
I browse Reddit a lot because it's so much less political if you know where to stay out of.
Yeah.
And I get suggested feeds all the time, and one of these feeds is that I subscribe to is relationship advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I don't post, I just read because
Yeah.
like maybe there's something I can learn from this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think you should ever stop working on your relationship. So
Yeah.
so like keep working on it. And that's kind of my motivation behind doing it. But one of the related subreddits is called Dead Bedrooms. And it is just like thousands of people like begging for advice. Like I haven't slept with my husband in a year and a half.
You'd be begging for dick.
Basically, I mean, like that's what it boils down to. Like most of these people actually give a shit and want to fix it, you know. But like, there are people that go there just to vent, and it's like it's so easy to fall into some shit like that. So when you're able to foster, and I'm not just talking about getting laid, I'm talking about connectedness in
intimacy.
general.
Yeah,
like intimacy doesn't need to just be sex, right?
No,
it can
it's
just
not. It's much more than that. Yeah,
right. So that's the first thing that goes, and if you can like have fun together, that is like the number one like gateway drug to intimacy is just purely having fun together, enjoying each other's company. And it's pretty cool to do that at somewhere like a Giants game. We saw a lady get married there. They cut over to her. They cut over to her on the big screen, and she was tossing the bouquet.
I forgot
over
all
her
about
shoulders.
that.
Yeah, she had an orange dress and a long orange veil on. You remember that?
Yeah, that would never happen at my wedding.
No, I mean, like, can
Not a
you?
chance.
That's what we were joking about. We were like, dude, can you imagine asking Alyssa or Fawn me like, yeah, I've got a great venue.
Yeah, we're gonna get
It's
married
a day game
by Augusta, Georgia, and it's gonna be green and yellow, in the Masters colors. It's gonna be awesome. Trust me. Just trust me. Yeah, right.
What do you want to serve? Pimento cheese sandwiches, please. Oh man,
Quit playing, bro, because I want that egg salad, man. Listen, and pimento. Dustin John's DJ's favorite is the pimento cheese. So
yeah,
we're gonna do a Masters watch
gotta
party
do
this
that,
year.
dude. Yeah, we have to.
For sure, because you could. For those of you at home, if you don't know this, we're golf nerds, and you can buy the stuff that they serve in Augusta. You can have them ship a package to your house, and you can watch the Masters while eating the same thing the pros are eating.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely doing that next year, dude. But yeah, man.
You hold real quick, when you said, you know where to look on Reddit so you don't get too political, I feel bad. Some people may look at this show and wish that we were maybe a little less political. But I will tell you right now, I identify as non-binary because I fucking hate that dude. He just embarrasses me, man. You can't be the leader of our country and embarrass everyone.
Well,
Even the people who don't think they're embarrassed, they should be.
like the guy, like that video you sent me earlier. Let's pull that shit up.
And there's a lot of other, for example, the idea that we're, in terms of taxes, that they refuse to, for example, I was able to balance the budget and pass everything from the global warming bill. Anyway, I was able to cut by $1.7 billion in the first 2 years the deficit that we were accumulating. And because I was able to say to it that the 55 corporations in America that made $400 billion, or $400 billion, that they pay zero in tax, zero.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Dude.
I mean,
What
do
did
you
he
feel
even just
represented by
say?
that guy?
No. That's
Me neither.
it's embarrassing as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Especially like
Imagine the other leaders there. And they're going, hey, this dude's running again. Do you see that? I hope he makes it. They're betting against us. It ain't good.
well, do you see that that Feinstein has like a bipartisan effort to get her out of office?
Yeah. Are you surprised?
Dude, and no, but they're all like, she's 89.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so are half of you motherfuckers. Listen, if your throat looks like a dog belly, you're too fucking old to serve in Congress. Period.
He said dog belly.
That's what it fucking looks like.
Oh, man. So,
It's grotesque.
all
dude.
right. So let's talk about this. Desantis has now thrown his hat in the ring. He's going to be running for president. Biden has already started a smear campaign against him yesterday. Talked about the Twitter feed.
So I was listening to it yesterday when it happened. I think it was yesterday.
Mhm.
And then I listened to it again this morning because, like, It's as if a presidential candidate went on the Joe Rogan podcast, right? It was the same thing that happened when Bernie Sanders went on his podcast, and he goes, when I sat down to talk to this guy for 3 hours, I kind of agree with a lot of what he says. Like, I actually got some context instead of a soundbite.
Yeah.
He said, I also disagree with a lot of what he says, but you know what? Like, I have a better understanding of this dude. And I felt like this was one of the first long form announcements for president. And you know what's funny is, like, yeah, the servers did crash and they were calling him, like, I don't know. There was a bunch of hashtags going on Twitter. But when you realize that there's 275,000 people concurrently listening to this, and Elon Musk is leading it with 100 million followers.
Yeah.
Like, they talked about it several times in the thing. Like, it's clearly a scalability issue. So, I mean, whatever. They were still able to have an hour and 10 minute long conversation. Mm-hmm. And some of the things that, like, he was talking about, you wouldn't really know if you didn't listen to this thing. So it's like anybody who refuses to listen to it because it's DeSantis, like it or not, this guy's going to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like your civic duty. Like, voting doesn't mean just showing up at the fucking ballot box. It means learning about what you're casting your vote toward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I felt it my civic duty to listen to what he had to say. And a lot of it I can't disagree with.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
So there was a Denzel Washington quote where he said, he was asked a question by the media, and he said, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. If you watch it, you're misinformed. And to go along with that, if you're going to vote on things, and listen, there's not a politician alive that I'm going to agree on with everything. It's not going to happen. So I think that being able to hear the points of views from all sides and see what this individual really wants to accomplish, I think that's important, right? And what their plan is. Part of that is going to be the team they surround themselves with, and part of that is we got to figure out a way to get out of this two-party system, which keeps screwing us, because they go there and fight each other and just vote along political lines, their party lines, and it stops any real work from getting done. But I did get amused this morning watching an AOC video, and she's like, they're saying that Democrats spend too much money, and if you believe that, if you buy into that for a second, and I was just like, you don't think that the government spends too much money? I thought that you said the government, AOC, that the government spent too much damn money, and you were going to go stop them from screwing the poor guy, but that's not what you're doing.
It's not poor anymore.
That's right.
She didn't give a fuck.
New Green Deal's flying around fucking jets.
Dude,
private jets.
So I think some of the most interesting things that DeSantis had to say was about Disney. And none of this stuff I really knew because, of course, it's not reported on fairly. Now, there's two sides in the truth, right? So I got to kind of take them both with a grain of salt. But he says that Disney is currently suing him because they caught, he killed that $1.2 billion deal, whatever. It's all DeSantis' fault.
Right.
What they are now doing is taking him to court and suing him because for the last 60, 70 years, however long it's been there, they've had very, very privileged
it's
tax
their own
rates.
city.
Right.
Yeah.
They're self-governed.
Self-governed.
So when they opposed the Parents' Right Bill, as they call it, when they opposed that, they the state was like, look, what the fuck? You've gotten pretty much anything you've wanted politically for the past several decades, and you're gonna oppose this shit? All right, well, I don't know if you could construe it as retaliatory, but DeSantis made a good point. None of this shit serves the state of Florida anymore. Universal Studios doesn't have these privileges. Fucking SeaWorld doesn't have these privileges.
Yep.
And I really don't know what purpose it serves to give a multi-billion for-profit corporation
tax breaks.
Right. And then another big part of what he was saying is that you have federal agencies colluding with corporations. So it sounds like to me DeSantis' stance on this whole marriage between the federal government and corporations and corporate power, it's all bullshit and it needs to be stopped. And I think it's gotten way out of hand. I mean, I've said it a million times. This is a corporatocracy. It's not a true democracy. There's way too much corporate money manipulating our policy that and you know, like really what their whole goal is political and money driven. It doesn't have anything to do
100%.
with the ethics of what Desantis did. They're not fucking suing. They're not crying in the streets because he passed his bill. They're crying in the fucking streets because he took away their corporate tax breaks.
Yeah.
But the media won't report on shit like that.
Well,
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Lucky's Barbershop. Gentlemen, are you tired of walking into a strip mall barbershop and hoping for the best? I was too, till I found Lucky's. Barbershops used to be a gathering place for men, a morning happy hour, if you will. The buzzing of clippers, the shop banter, a solid atmosphere. Well, that's what awaits you at Lucky's, a traditional shop with traditional values. The guys at Lucky's aren't just barbers. They are highly skilled masters of their craft, and with their expert hands and keen attention to detail, they'll have you looking fresh in no time. But it's not just the haircut. It's about the experience. At Lucky's, you'll find yourself immersed in a welcoming atmosphere filled with great banter, great people, great music, and a sense of camaraderie. And let's not forget about the merchandise. Lucky's has an extensive line of grooming products, stylish apparel, and accessories that'll keep you on point. So, if you're ready to elevate your grooming game and find a shop that honors tradition, Lucky's Barbershop is the place for you. Book an appointment at their Folsom or Cameron Park location today at luckysmensclub.com and tell them we sent you. Back to the episode.
so back to what you were saying as far as like the corruption or the connection, at least, between these companies and the federal government. I mean, when we saw the Twitter stories, like, first off, why have those gone away? Was there nothing else in them, or did something happen, right? And I'll go with door number 2 there. Yeah. And then, like, we saw the FBI has been politicized into, doing some pretty horrible shit with their power, right? Because we just assume that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is doing all the right things and they don't make bad choices and do
The best
wrong.
of the best, right?
Right. But that's not what we're seeing, and that's not what we're hearing. And that's really scary. What do you have as an average citizen? What power do you think you have when you get indicted by the FBI or you're under investigation? You think that's not going to ruin your life or, make people question what you're doing? It's sad to me that we've come so far in dividing this country. And then it makes me sad, too, to see that it doesn't matter, like, even it doesn't matter what political side you fall on, they attack each other too, right? Like, Trump is going after DeSantis and back and forth, right? So they're not even unified in their parties. And it's just more and more division. So first off, I think we need to absolutely have a barrier between corporations and the federal government. Unless they're conducting some investigation and they have, legal jurisdiction to do whatever it is they're doing and go through the proper channels, getting warrants or whatever. It's just like the Patriot Act. It's bullshit. It infringes on our rights.
Dude,
and it should be illegal.
DeSantis said in his Twitter spaces, he said that the FBI asked Bank of America to get them, and I don't like I'm repeating what he said literally. He said that they requested records and information for everybody who bought hot dogs. I don't know why hot dogs.
Uh-oh.
I have a hypothesis here, but between January 1st and January 7th.
Hot dogs?
Hot dogs. They overlaid it with gun sales. I don't know. So, like, I've been trying to wrap my brain around this because he didn't elaborate on it anymore. But, like, why would those two things be relevant? He said that it is a fact that that B of A just said, okay, and handed it over to the FBI.
Jesus.
But why hot dogs and guns? Mm-hmm. Because, like, those are American? Like, what the fuck?
Who bought bacon?
Or so, like, does this, he said specifically through January 1st through the 7th. So does this have something to do with January 6th?
Yeah.
Like, were there a bunch of glizzy salesmen out there on the fucking Capitol lawn? And that's what they're
Have a hot dog, go to the Capitol.
right. I don't know. Or then my last hypothesis is if this is January 1st to 7th in like 21 or 20, when we were on lockdown, maybe they're looking for, because you remember how people were using hot dogs to get around the no foods. Like if you don't sell food, you can't sell alcohol.
Oh.
So like every bar in town
Hot dogs.
had a fucking little hot dog steamer. So are they trying to catch people that were at the January 6th thing, or are they trying to catch people that were enjoying their freedom when we were all on fucking lockdown? I don't know.
It's a very valid question.
It's a valid question. But I think to wrap up this Desantis thing, I think that Disney needs to probably look at the fact that Disney World in Orlando was open during the fucking lockdowns, and it was shut the fuck down for over a year here. So it's like, how are you going to bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah.
Like, what, you're going to take the guy to fucking court? Pay your taxes.
Right.
Pay your taxes.
You know what happens if I don't pay my taxes?
Yeah. We
I
get
go to
locked
court.
up.
Yeah. You know, COVID was pretty fucked up because I remember, like, they took the rims off the basketball courts. And that kind of made me mad. I'm like, y'all so petty as fuck, man. Those don't belong to you. They belong to the city. They belong to these kids right here. And we pay for them as taxpayers, motherfucker. And so that kind of stuff made me mad because, I mean, now listen, I'm privileged. I'm really tan, but my last name says I'm white. And so I have a half-court basketball court in my backyard, right? But so what? So what? My kids should be able to go to the park and play, especially when you've locked them down for over a year. You know, 2 years, 3 years, however fucking long we were doing this shit, 2.5 years. I quit playing.
Yeah.
I didn't really give a shit. I would go surf. I'm going to surf tomorrow. I'm very excited.
Hell yeah.
It's like a baptism, man.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I kind of liked COVID golf rules though.
Oh,
that was kind of nice, bro.
it was a little weird, especially, but like because we always left the flagpole in, and so they had those little discs. So if it went in there and like popped out, it was good.
That was good, yeah.
Yeah, which I would have enjoyed the other day because
you lip out a few times.
Oh, I chipped. It was gonna be a birdie on the number 1 handicap hole. It's number 3.
Sierra View.
Yeah, Sierra View, and I chipped it up there, and it just hit the lip, and I tapped in. It was only a foot away when it stopped, but it was going to go in. It was slowing down enough. I thought it was going to go in, and it did not, just lip just a touch.
Oh, man.
And I, stopped a foot away. But last episode, and the guys, I talked about this guy, Doug, who threw my clubs on the ground.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
said I would have punched. Doug hit a hole-in-one yesterday, so he got to buy me some drinks.
Oh, shit.
Nothing tastes better than a free drink.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I really want to hit a hole-in-one.
Me too.
It's never going to happen, I don't think.
It's going to, you just got to hit enough balls.
Not for me. I think for you it will. You golf enough. I don't golf enough.
I should have hit one already, but
yeah.
It's going to happen. I'm not worried about that.
So, dude, anyway, long segue, but back to sports. So, Lakers got swept.
Yeah.
Which I think it's like, poor LeBron, bro. This is the only reason I'll ever say that. But, like, they make fun of that fool's name so much. Like, they call him, like, Le Sweep, Le Flop. It's fucking hilarious, bro. They just take any word and put the L and the E in front of it.
Yeah.
Also, in the sweep department, bro, have you been watching the Stanley Cup at all?
I've only caught a little bit. And I think right now the Stars and the
they're
Vegas
playing
is
tonight.
playing right now. Yeah, yeah.
Or
I think they're playing right now.
I thought they play at 5.
You might be right.
Well, if they do shit, that would be pretty. It would be pretty wild if they sweat because last night the Carolina-Florida game was so insane, bro. So it was 2-3. Carolina was up to stay alive. They're down 3-0 in the series, and with 7 minutes left, or like 6:46 left, or something like that, the Panthers score, and they tie it up. It goes the rest of regulation, and it looks like it's about to go to OT, and that Carolina has a chance to stay alive. And Matthew Tkachuk, that motherfucker, I hated him when he was on the Calgary Flames. He's a shit stirrer, dude. He'll get out there and he'll poke and prod at you all night, and then the second somebody wants to drop the gloves, he just fucking turtles up and like falls to the ground. He's kind of a bitch, but he's a legend. Like he's got dirty dangles, bro. And this fool with 3.6 seconds left just iced the fucking game to sweep. So if Vegas sweeps Dallas tonight, you have 2 sweeps to go into the Stanley Cup. You have the Lakers getting swept. Are there any other basketball teams about to get swept right now too? It might be the least watched championship series of all time for both sports.
I think the Celtics and let me go look at theirs real quick because I think
And Miami. Isn't Miami about to sweep Boston?
I think. Well, I don't think they did though, right? I'm gonna go look. I feel dumb not knowing this right now. Yeah, so it's 3-1 Miami.
Okay,
Miami
so they stayed alive
because they did win them. Yeah, that's what I thought. So they play tonight.
All right, but let's check out Brooks Koepka.
I was gonna say, so they have a big fan down there, big PGA Championship Master winner,
Oh my
Brooks
God,
Koepka.
bro! So first of all, he brought that fucking trophy with him to the game.
Was he drinking out of it? He had to have been.
He had, well, yeah. I think that he went down to the locker room. They were all drinking out of it.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure I
That
saw a
sounds
clip
about
of
right.
that.
yeah.
But look at all right. So viewers at home, I'd like you to count how many times he blinks
All right. You don't have to
or claps. It's both.
okay. He claps a lot.
Let's
Probably
just
doesn't blink.
check this out.
Oh, it's easy. You just have to count the claps because he doesn't blink.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, there's the first blink, dude.
yeah.
He is so trash.
Yeah. He's gonzo there.
Dude, can we look at this guy?
I love it.
I mean, he looks geeked out of his mind, does he not?
But let's talk about this for a second. Not necessarily him being geeked out, but 5 majors. 5 majors. He's got as many as Seve Ballesteros.
So the thing about him winning this, like all right, after what was it called? First swing? Full swing.
Full swing, yeah. Which is going to be a season 2, by the way.
Thank God. After full swing, I was like, this guy's stock has never been lower.
yeah.
I mean, he was basically the entire time he was on camera, he was either being a douchebag
Mm-hmm.
or he was like whining about how he's not good at golf anymore.
Yes.
And then to go to live, like he needed this more than anybody ever needed anything in their career. Like as a pro athlete, he needed this so bad. And to see him do it, I mean, like you got to respect the guy. But the thing that I thought was hilarious is this exchange with the PGA commissioner. Did you see this?
I don't think I saw this.
All right, so he's taking his pictures and stuff.
Right, because he plays for Liv.
Yeah, he plays for Liv.
So this is the tournament director, whoever. Or is
It's
this the PGA? Oh, this is the PGA.
Yeah, it's the actual. It's the actual
Jay Monahan
commissioner.
or whatever. Yeah, it is. It's Jay Monahan.
He walks up to the commissioner or the trophy, and they're taking pictures in front of it, and Brooks like puts his hand out like that to shake his hand, and Monahan just like sidesteps.
Oh,
they take the picture. Brooke keeps his hands up. The dude Monahan walks behind him. He just turns around and is like, "Whatever, dude."
yeah.
It was so fucking awkward, but it was
Be mad,
hilarious.
bro.
Yeah, be mad. I'm gonna fucking win your tournament next year. That's exactly what I would have said to him.
Yeah. I listen, I know there's a lot of egos and people are all, is butthurt because the PGA is going to lose a lot of money from they got a lot of stars to go to live by giving them millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Well, and then acted like they all sucked at golf.
Mm.
Like they couldn't compete with the PGA.
Well, that part was funny, especially when you see guys struggle, right? Like, but hold on, let's talk about Michael Block for a quick second. Michael Block was the Cinderella story of the PGA Championship. This guy's a tour pro down here in Southern California. Or excuse me, not a tour pro, a club pro.
A club pro.
So what that means is this guy works at a country club. In fact, he actually doesn't work at a country club. He works at a public golf course.
He works at a Muni?
He works at a Muni.
Damn.
And I think in over 40 years, he's the first club pro to I think, get in the top 15 or whatever. He had a hole in one. Since then, he's gotten several exemptions to play in other tournaments. He's playing in
That's the sickest
Charles
part. He was
Schwab.
about to go home, and then he's got all these exemptions now.
So it made me laugh because on Saturday, like they interviewed him Friday night. So he makes the cut, and they're telling him who he's playing with on Saturday or whatever. And they're like, you know, what do you think about all? He's like, well, I got to change my flights because I was supposed to be leaving.
Yeah.
He's like, I wasn't supposed to, you know, I didn't expect to be here.
Yeah.
And he was in real contention. He was in the top 10 when he started Sunday. Had a bit of a rough day there, but he still hit a hole in one on that day. Just absolutely wonderful story, and so happy for that guy.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
It really is.
Yeah, I was
He's one of us,
right.
kind of.
And he got a lot of coverage too, which I thought was really cool. I kept seeing him on ESPN.
They even did, like, you know, where they talk to guys, like when they hit a shot or whatever, and they have the earpiece in and they talk to you.
Yeah.
He literally did that.
Yeah.
Like, you have all this pressure, but he's like, what? I'm not even supposed to be here, so I don't give a fuck.
I've already won, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. It was cool seeing him all over the place.
Gotta love it.
Man, ESPN's changing, dude. So this is like, I can't tell if I'm excited for this or if it's just going to break my heart, but ESPN signed Pat McAfee.
Really?
All of his boys.
Uh-oh.
So this means a couple things.
They're gonna have to limit what they do and say.
So he did an announcement, and he said that the only thing, he swears up and down, the only thing they're going to do is say fuck a little bit less. He's like, everything else is good to go. I just can't believe that, dude. No. So he's going to take, it's going to be...
You're a long-time viewer of the Pat McAfee show.
Long time.
Yeah.
So what's the very first, I think it's like Sports Center, First Take, and then it's going to be the Pat McAfee show. Now, that's the slot that the Max Kellerman show's in. So Max Kellerman got kicked off of First Take with Stephen A because Stephen A wanted a more interesting co-host.
Yeah.
He's one of their best talents at the network, for sure. Mm-hmm. They put him in the, 1 to 3 Eastern slot. So he has 2 hours. Pat McAfee show is 3 hours long, 3.5 hours long. And it's going to be playing simultaneously on ESPN Plus, so they can probably cuss on that. It'll be playing on ESPN's YouTube channel, so they can probably cuss on that. Mm-hmm. And then I would imagine that it would be played on ESPN on a delay of sorts.
Oh, huh.
But let's just, so he swears up and down that this shit's not going to change. Let's just watch the fucking intro to the Pat McAfee show. Yeah. Just the intro. Some of the best parts of the show, like that one call that I showed you with that 8-year-old kid that says, and fuck Boston. That can't happen on the McAfee show, or if it's on ESPN.
Yeah.
So, and then you have one of his...
I mean, they didn't even like Barstool. They kicked out the event.
After one episode or some shit.
Yep.
And then you have Ian Rappaport, who comes on the show almost daily. He works for NFL Network. Do you think that those suits over there are going to let him come on? Fuck no.
No way.
Well, watch this intro. Count how many times they say fuck.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Shut the fuck up! Hello, beautiful people.
Top 5, I thought.
Oh, I might have missed one. That's how many there were.
Well, they said fuck. I think a couple of,
So,
how's
you're
that
going to change a fucking intro.
Yeah. Of course.
You're going to tell me you're not going to change anything? You're going to have to change the intro, dude.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would we change ours if ESPN said we'll give you, X amount of dollars?
100%.
Well, we don't get paid any money right now.
Yeah,
So,
we don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, on a side note, the young Jamie we needed has already been replaced by AI, so we don't need a young Jamie anymore. Thank you for your inquiries, of which we got 0.
We got this. I find very sad because both of us are willing to give up our ad share, to help facilitate
Give
this.
you a plug nickel, baby. But yeah, dude. So I don't know how it's all gonna pan out with Pat McAfee on ESPN. Is he gonna go fucking bark at Stephen A. Smith and shit? It was funny, dude. I walk into my living room all the time, and Alyssa's watching Summer House or fucking Vanderpump Rules, which I admittedly is a guilty pleasure of mine. Not Summer House, but
sure.
But all these reality TV shows where there's just women crying and screaming at each other and like dudes being like, I told you I wouldn't fuck her, dude, but I did, you know? It's like, it's just a whole bunch of
Jersey
bullshit.
Shore
Yeah.
or whatever.
So I was like, I always come in and I'll give her shit for watching it. I'm like, what are you rotting your brain with right now?
Mhm.
Like, are you serious? And then she came in a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. And I was watching First Take, and it was literally Stephen A. Smith, Mad Dog fucking screaming at each other into the cameras, and then Molly in between him like, guys, I have to break. And Alyssa looks at me and she's like, this is the same shit.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, it really is, dude.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing. It's just like manufactured arguments.
Bro, like,
That's why I like the McAfee show. I just hope ESPN doesn't fuck it up, who are owned by Disney. So
yeah, we'll see.
good luck.
Fawn gives me shit. So, like, I don't remember, a couple weeks ago. Oh, I guess it was probably around the time of the Masters. She's like, are you watching old golf?
Yeah.
And I'm like, better shut your mouth. You know, she said golf is boring. You're over here watching old golf. I'm like, what do you think you know about the 2006 Masters? Like, you don't know nothing.
Dude, some classic performances. And the way that they edit it down, it's like I can watch the entire Masters tournament in fucking 3 hours.
Couple hours, yeah.
It's awesome, dude. I used to love when they would re-air football games where it would, like, the second the play ended, they would edit out. You could watch a whole entire football game and, like,
Bill Burr has the have you ever seen he's talking, I think he was on the Conan O'Brien show or something, and he was like, I watch football 7 days a week. And he's like, how the fuck do you watch football 7 days a week? He's like, well, on Sunday I watch 2 games or whatever. Monday I got Monday night. On Tuesday I watch one of the other games. Wednesday I watch one. I got Thursday. Friday I watch I don't remember. He recorded them so that he could watch games all through. He's like, I don't look at scores. None of
it's
that.
like not a bad idea.
I was like, my man's living in 2050.
This is what the McAfee show did for me, though. That's why I got addicted to it, because I hated fucking waiting from Monday to Thursday. It was brutal. I hated it.
Yeah.
And so I would watch then, and they would break down. So they have like AQ Shipley, and he has a segment called In the Trenches where he breaks down like O-line play.
Yeah.
And then you have Darius Butler, who does all the DB play. You have Pac-Man Jones, who's on the show almost every day. Like,
talks about robbers.
I just don't know how ESPN is going to possibly put Pac-Man Jones live on air. Like, that guy is solely Pac-Man Jones. He is not corporate Pac-Man. He is not fucking, I don't cuss Pac-Man.
It's like Marshawn Lynch, bro.
Yeah, good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they are who they are, and they're wonderful people for it. I fucking love listening to them both talk on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not on fucking ESPN.
ESPN. Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. We'll see how that all pans out.
Yeah. You know, we're talking about some of these corporate folks and them changing stuff. So I just saw a thing with the guy who was running, his name's James O'Keefe. You know, he's the guy who was running, what's the name? The one, Project Veritas.
Yeah.
And now he has his own media group or whatever. And I saw he did a thing, I'm pretty sure, with Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
And they got somebody. It been some, it's funny when you see these people, these corporate fucking cocksuckers who they know they're doing wrong and they think they're cool telling their little boyfriend or love interest or some random person that they think they can trust.
Yeah.
And then they get busted and they're like, no, that's not what I meant. You're just taking my word. And you're like,
that COVID guy with Project Veritas, like, he was on a date.
oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That was so brutal.
He's
to
like,
watch.
I was trying
trying to impress him.
Yeah, we saw.
Dude, when you were like, speaking about corporations changing things, I thought you were about to bring up Target.
Oh, well, they changed real quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
So first they got satanic fucking gay pride shit, which, again, leave my kids out of this shit. But then once they were like, oh, this dude is satanic, maybe we should there's a lot of people online who are pretty upset about this. So they had like emergency meetings and they've removed all the stuff from the show.
Dude, so I saw it firsthand because Alyssa and I walked into a Target. I don't remember what for. And it dawned on me that I had seen one of these Twitter threads where someone was like, what the fuck is Target thinking? And I was like, I got to see something. Come follow me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, dude, front and center, like 50, 60 feet from the door,
Yeah.
there's this huge toddler section, and all of it's pride shit. And like, the thing that disturbed me, and this picture has gone viral all over all over like Twitter and shit, is these swimsuits that were this big, dude. They were this wide. So think about how old a kid can be with how like my hands aren't even a foot apart.
We're American. We're obese. So 2.
Yeah. But it said like tuckable.
Oh, I did see
and
that.
ultra like wide crotch coverage. And I was just like, dude, like why a kid that is this size is not making that decision for themselves.
No.
Period.
Right.
And so I don't know, man. I'm all for people being who they want to be.
Yeah.
But who they want to be.
Right.
Them and only them. If their kid wants to be somebody else, let them be somebody else.
Yeah, man.
It's like that celebrity that we saw that's, you know, she's in a same-sex marriage, and she has 3 kids that are between like 6 and 12.
Oh, yeah.
And all 3 of them are either gay, non-binary, or gender fluid.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're seeing,
indoctrinated.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no like polite way to put it. I don't have to be polite about this. Like, this is my fucking podcast. This is our fucking podcast, bro.
Damn right.
We can say whatever we want.
Well, you know,
But
this is the
like,
norm now.
That's
Like,
fucked up.
I don't know if you saw, but the Dodgers had a big pride thing down there at the Dodger Stadium. They had uninvited a group that was considered a hate group. They are anti-Catholic, anti-Christian. They don't, you know, so they do a bunch of stuff. They have like, you know, some guy in a fucking diaper, whatever, and he's on a cross, like, you know, and then the other person comes up and they like, you know, do a bunch of stuff. So it's, Catholics were like, listen, this is a hate group, blah, blah, blah. And so the Dodgers uninvited them. And then the LGBTQI plus community was like, fuck you, fascists. You guys are transphobic, or you're xenophobe or racist. I don't know, whatever they decided to call them that moment. And the Dodgers were like, oh, fuck. All right, you're back. You're invited again. So they brought him. After careful consideration, I'm just like, you guys will fold under any pressure. People don't have backbones anymore, right? Which bothers me because I don't fuck with cowards, man. If you don't have anything to stand up for, it's like the old adage we've heard a million times. You don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Fall for anything.
And I know there's a few things that I've been taught in my life, man. And my daddy told me I come from fighters. And so I wasn't always good at picking and choosing my battles. I'm much better at that now. But I tell you one thing, I don't compromise when it comes to my kids. I don't compromise when it comes to their safety or any of that stuff. So for us to even have these conversations, to see the world where it's at today, I think not only is it ludicrous, but it makes me very frustrated as a parent because we don't have more adults standing up and saying, you're out of your mind. And I tell you what,
scared to.
You're all fired. You know, this goes back to, I don't care if they're school board members, city council members. I don't care if they're teachers. I don't care if anyone, like we've had specifically a number of incidents here in California. There was a teacher at Intercom High School who said that he has a few months to indoctrinate these kids, and he's got these flags and all this stuff. And he like shamed this kid for saying, you know, I think maybe it was religious beliefs or something. And that guy was like, you know, like a teacher who was degrading this kid, and he got fired and all that stuff. But like, as a parent, I got to tell you, that's kind of, I'll put up with a lot of shit. You can call me anything but late for chow, man. I'm not really going to get too riled up. It's a 5-year rule kind of thing, right? But when it comes to my kids, it's going to matter in 5 years. So we got to get this shit right. And we shouldn't have never even, I don't even understand how we got down this road, how we got so sidetracked from what we're supposed to be doing, which is teaching these folks how to be prepared for adulthood and for real world. Yeah. But meanwhile, we got rid of auto body. We got rid of home economics. We got rid of all these metal shop, wood shop, all these things that were for trade schools that would teach these kids how to use their hands, how to build something. And instead, we're busy worried about fucking nonsense.
That's why I'm so fucking proud of Folsom High, dude. Like, we toured it a couple months back, and their shop program that they put in is
state of the art,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
They have a $250,000 robotic welder.
Yep.
They have like 20 CNC machines. These kids are going in there and they're manufacturing parts. Like, if I was going to that, first of all, I would take every single class in that building that I possibly could, and I would probably have never gone to college.
Yeah, because they got. I mean, you can literally. So they want you to like at Folsom. So my kids are at the high school. I got one that's after. So today's the last day of school.
Yeah.
So,
Happy graduation to Folsom High.
So check this
Class
out.
23.
If you want to know what kind of parent I am, this isn't the first time I've done some shit like this. Today's the last day of school. What shirt do I decide to wear today? Non-binary. I went to open house one day, and I have my fucking Caddyshack, Danny, do you take drugs shirt on? And I'm just like, God bless America. Why do I show up like this? Because I don't think, bro. I just put on shirts. And most of the time, this is what's even worse. Most of the time, I'm wearing like golf attire. I'm an old dad with
almost
gray
every
hair.
time I see you,
Yeah,
you're
bro,
in
I
a
got
fucking polo.
I got a polo.
Yeah.
I'm tucked in. You know, I got matching J's on. I go to my kid's school. I'm wearing some political trash, and
That's hilarious, dude.
happens all the time, bro. My kids, they're used to this shit. Like, even like, and they know like weed is my medicine. They know that like dad's got a medical card for this stuff, and you know, a doctor prescribed all that kind of stuff, right? But they still know it's weed. So like the older one, she's a little smart ass, right? Like the older they get, man, them motherfuckers, they don't need you as much. So they talk some shit. And she's like, one day she sends me a picture. It's like this box. She's with her friend, and he knows I smoke marijuana too. So they sent this like, hey, that'd be good for your dad's weed. And she's like, oh yeah, perfect. So send me a picture, Dad. This would be great for you. I'm like, you know what, motherfucker, you're grounded. How about that? Just canceled your fucking bank card. Talk some more smack. Damn kids, man. They're funny though, you know, and I'm so proud of them. Like the things that are that they're doing, preparing themselves. We're going to go look at colleges. One of the reasons where I'm going surfing. Kids gonna go look at some schools, man. And I know my wife is scared. She's like, we only have, time is short. Well, yeah. We're already here. This is the last day of junior year. She's gonna be a senior, and that starts in a couple months. Senior year starts in a couple months. Yeah. So it's not like we have this exorbitant amount of time. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's the point. They're going to get the fuck out. And she's like, she's not ready for it. So it's interesting, but she's very responsible. And like the reward for being a good parent is raising good kids into, good adults.
Right.
And she's a good person. Yeah.
Proud of you, dude.
Thanks. Show
Congrats.
up, man. Show
One
up.
more fucking year.
I know. Just driving.
Man, I'm fucking scared for kids, dude.
I just, well, could you imagine, like, let's go back to COVID for a second. I know we need to get over this shit, and I'm trying to, but think about the kids who were in 2020 who were going to graduate, who were in college, like, played sports, and they ain't get to play their senior year.
Like, let's just think about you. Let's say you're, like, a junior baseball player.
Yeah.
Right? And it's 2019 or whatever.
Yeah.
You're heading into summer.
Yep.
And you spend your family spends a bunch of money and they hire a coach.
Yeah.
And
Clinics,
you up your batting average by fucking, by 100.
Yeah.
And you pack on fucking 20 pounds and shit. And you are geared up. You've got a couple of, D3, D2 offers, but you're thinking maybe you can go 1A or something. And you're gearing up for your senior season. That guy that you fucking always split time with finally graduates, and you're going to be the starter and blah, 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 blah.
It's your time to shine.
It's your fucking time. And then school gets shut down for a year.
Mm-mm.
You're fucked.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do about that? They
I don't know. I mean, like, thankfully, there's places like JUCOs. I mean, like, that's why I think that we're going to see a lot of JUCO talent in professional sports in the next several years because, maybe you didn't get that offer, but you still do have a chance.
Yeah.
You play a year or two at a JUCO, maybe up to 3 if you redshirt. Then you're going into college. It's not like you have to be a spring chicken to play baseball. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys spend their entire careers in farm league. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine how heartbreaking that must have been for some of these guys, dude. I mean, at least football is done in the fall, and it the thing is though, with something like baseball, you really you're really not getting your best looks in high school. But that's not to say that competitive teams could go play. Right. You know what I mean? They probably couldn't fucking play either unless you're in Florida or some shit.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I can't. I remember thinking about that at the time. Like, what do you mean you're going to shut down school? Like,
We were in Hawaii and they shut down the kids' school. Like I pulled them out of school and got them home study packets or whatever. We went for a week. And then they shut down their school. And they said it was going to be shut down for the rest of the year. So we were like, it's March, bro.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So Fawn was like, you want to stay longer? So we moved over to Kapalua Bay. We're in
Fuck yeah,
Maui.
that's what I would have done.
And we went straight over to the golf villas, bro. And I golfed Kapalua. It rained on me, poured on me for about 7 minutes. And then it was gorgeous. And I was just playing whack fuck, man, living my best life. And I got to tell you, so like I told you, this it's good for my mental health, man. I love golfing. And
Golf is terrible for my mental health, dude.
well,
I leave the golf course, I'm like, you fucking loser.
it's really about letting go, right? So if you have the ability to hit a bad shot, let that go and go up there and hit your next bad shot.
I
No,
only have
try to
so
hit a good
many
one.
of those in me, dude.
Well,
I only have so many of those.
You're trying to hit, trying to hit those good ones, and that's why when you hit a good one, it brings you back, and
Yeah.
that's kind of like life, right? So like you have, bad days or things are just going along, whatever, but then you have like a breakthrough day, or you have, like I joke about, like I had all these fucking trophies. I had MVP, best offensive player, fucking trophy after trophy after trophy when I was a kid. I haven't quit necessarily chasing trophies. I got this is a California, so the VGA is the Veteran Golfers Association. So I was a fucking back-to-back state champ. That's where that
dope.
trophy came from, right? And because I'm competitive, and I don't just want to golf is mostly about beating yourself, being better than you were yesterday. But sometimes it's about kicking everyone else's ass, and I like dominating motherfuckers. I enjoy that competitive aspect, and so I think it's good for us just as people.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Kinetic Ink Tattoo Company. If you're looking to get a tattoo or piercing in the Folsom area, you have to check out Kinetic Ink. You'll realize that this is not your ordinary shop the second you walk through the door. Kinetic Ink is built to bring together the veteran and first responder communities in a place where they can connect with one another, share their stories, and get tattooed by world-class artists. What I love most about Kinetic is that a percentage of every tattoo is donated to Warfighter Overwatch to help vets and first responders when they need it most. The sense of community and camaraderie they've built is unlike any shop I've been in. Go check them out. They're located in Folsom at 47 Natoma Street, right across the street from City Hall. Mention the Patriotic Podcast and get 15% off Kinetic Ink merchandise. Shout out to Kinetic for sponsoring the pod. Now back to our episode.
Yeah.
I hope people don't stop chasing it. That's how I met Annie. There's this thing called the Valor Games. And I was like, one of my friends told me about it. He's, hey, bro, you should go do they got a bench press thing. And I was like, all right. So
Let's go.
fucking did. Got me a gold medal at the house.
There you
And
go.
it was pretty cool because I enjoyed that competitive atmosphere. I did archery, and they wanted you to do 3 events. You didn't have to, but they were like, they wanted you to at least do 3. So I did a biathlon, and that one's pretty cool because you do like the little cross country skiing deal, and then you have to shoot, but you have to control your breathing, and it's an electric little beep. You're hitting but if you don't control your, I hit 4 out of 5 because I was like, my breathing, the very first one I missed, my breathing was very rapid, and I just needed to take a couple deep breaths, and it would cost me a few seconds, but I could have hit all 5. But still got a silver medal, I think, in that one. And those things they're good for us.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid, I was such a dumbass, man. When I was a kid, me and my cousin Danny did an archery tournament in Truckee with like a whole bunch of other little kids, and he got second, and I got third.
Yeah.
And I thought I beat him because 3 is bigger than 2. That's how fucking dumb I was, dude.
I
But
did that
yeah.
at miniature golf.
That was
Thought I
fun,
won because
man.
I had the most.
Yeah. That's exactly
This
it.
game is stupid.
Yeah.
I knew back then it was dumb.
Yeah, man. Golf, you know what I always forget about golf is that it is a perishable skill. So when I go out after having not golfed for a while, I expect to like play as good as I did the last time,
Yeah.
which was, several months ago or
Yeah.
whatever. And it pisses me off when I don't.
There's a lot of
It's
feel.
like, I've done this. I should be able to do this.
Well, I do that even week to week.
Yeah.
I'm the same golfer that just hit that last one.
Yeah.
I'm I swear to God, same
guy.
person. Yes.
Same guy.
And, I'm every once in a while, I'll have like a bad tee shot, right? Because I usually play with these old guys, and I hit the ball well anyways. Like if I make I hit the ball well. So when I play with these guys, I'm hitting it 60, 70, 80 yards past them, right? And then sometimes I don't, and I top one or I hit a bad shot, and then like most of the time, my thought process is, man, I could still get on from there.
Yeah.
I don't watch, and I've done that several times. Like there was one I didn't have a great shot, and I was 228 yards to the front, and I'm like, well, that's a pretty far piece. I hit my 5-wood, and it bounced right before, like just on the fringe before the green.
Checked up.
Yep. Bounced up, and when it bounced up, it checked and just rolled a little bit. I was like 10 feet away, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't do that again if I tried right now. But sometimes you do hit that. You just hit laser beams, man, and that's what brings you back to it more and more.
I remember I went to Las Vegas to link up with my cousin Julian Taylor, and we went golfing at Southern Highlands. We had 2 rounds of golf planned, and we went, and I hadn't golfed in like 3 months. And I was all nervous because they're both pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude, I don't want to be just hacking it up all day long.
Yeah.
So that first night at Southern Highlands, I went out and I shot like one of my personal best rounds.
Yeah.
I actually think I beat Jewel by a stroke. Sorry, bro. Taylor smoked us both. But I went home that night and I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, you got this. You know what I mean? And then I woke up the next day and went to the golf course and shot like 108.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, you guys saw me yesterday, right? I can do this.
If I'm not mistaken, Doug hit his hole-in-one yesterday. I'm pretty sure he shot like a 106 or some horrific shit.
Yeah.
He hit a hole-in-one, though.
Happens, bro.
He
That's
bought me
like when
drinks.
I hit my first home run in baseball, I don't think I ever got a hit again until I stopped playing. Like, I was just swinging for the fucking fences. So it's
Yeah.
like you get overconfident, and then you got to walk the line, because if you go up to your shot and you're not feeling confident about it, you're standing over it. That's why I almost always, like, I hit my irons a lot, especially off the tee. Like, I don't like hitting woods because I just, when I need to get over this, but like when I'm standing over it, I'm just thinking like, dude, just the way this thing looks, it looks like it can go Mach 5. So I'm going to swing it as fucking hard as I can. It's super aerodynamic. Looks like I'm holding a little Ferrari in my hand.
Yeah.
And of course I do just that, and I, slice it or snap hook it or whatever. But with an iron, I'm like, I'm going to pick this thing fucking perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's just like that swing thought alone, but then you get a little cocky with that, and you're back in the rough, dude. It's the hardest game. It's the hardest game.
So that's why, like, if I'm struggling off the tee, I will hit that 5-wood, because I can carry that 5-wood like 230 roughly. And
I wish I could do that.
so I don't need, like, because that course isn't super long. It's more important to be accurate because there's a lot of trees. So you're hitting punch shots and shit. If you miss left or right, if you deviate, you're in trouble. And so especially on the back nine, it's not super long. I will hit that 5-wood over and over. And because I can hit it far, like, I'll hit it over trees. Like, oh, it's a dog leg, right? I can hit it over that tree, no big deal. And they're like, these guys can't do it with their driver. They'll hit it into the tree every time. And so I have an advantage, but they say the hardest 6 inches in golf is between your ears.
Yeah. Dude, I don't carry a 3 or 5 wood because, again, I just fucking can't handle it. And so in their place, I have it's probably like a mid-80s Wilson Staff forged 2-iron.
Yeah.
And I use that as my, like, punch-out club.
Yeah.
Or, like, if I need to just bump and run. But, like, every once in a while, I'll get so pissed off the tee box. I'm like, fuck it, I'm hitting the 2-iron. Only 1 in 10 of them go where I want them to. But, dude, when you hit that fucking thing.
Yeah.
But Arnold Palmer has one of my favorite, he's one of my favorite quotes. He was like, if you catch yourself, I think I'm botching this, but it's like, if you catch yourself playing golf in a thunderstorm, hold up your 2-iron, because not even God can hit a 2-iron.
Lee Trevino.
Lee Trevino said that. Okay, there you go. Yeah. I fucking love that quote. It's true, dude. they're so hard to hit, but it literally looks like I'm swinging with a long butter knife. It's crazy.
I met Lee Trevino. He's a Marine.
I didn't know that.
Really cool guy. He is a really cool guy. President
Before
Bush.
my time, dude. I never got to watch him really play golf.
He's even now. He's a 80-something years old. He's a fucking stick.
Damn.
Automatic every time. And so he's got a son that's 25 years younger than him. It's fucking twin. Looks exactly like him, just 25 years younger. You can't really tell because they look old now. But so President Bush puts on this thing, the what's it called? President's Cup. No, I don't remember.
President's Cup is that match play.
That's like the Ryder Cup. What's it called?
Do you think there will ever be a live PGA tournament like the Ryder Cup?
I think there will be.
I think there should be.
So let's talk about this real quick. And I know people are probably sick of the fucking golf talk, but what's going to happen with the Ryder Cup this year? Because we have live, you have got, like, Brooks should be on the fucking team.
He needs to be on the team.
Brooks has to be on the team.
He has to be, right?
Yes. So what do you do with that?
I don't know. But before we move on from golf, this is one of my favorite videos of all time.
It's going to be good.
We must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive. All right, you need another.
Now watch this drive.
So,
that is one of the funniest 20 seconds of George Bush history.
I love that. So he paints. He painted a picture of, like, I have a couple buddies that he's painted, but there's a picture of him giving Shane, my double amp, his Purple Heart in Walter Reed, and I showed that to him at the Bush's golf tournament deal, and I was like, hey, you should paint this. He's like, oh, that one's powerful. I was like, I didn't get a picture with him, though, because I was busy fucking bullshitting with him, but I think there's a picture of the back of my head.
Wait, who paints?
President Bush, that one.
No shit. I didn't know that.
W. Yep.
Dude, that
Paints.
guy.
The paint's pretty good, too.
That guy, when we were talking about, like, how bad of an orator Biden is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Trump sucked, too, but at least he was, like, charismatic and hilarious, frankly.
Yeah.
And then you have Obama, who's probably the best who ever did it. And then you have George Bush, which, love him or hate him, dude, was hilarious at his own expense, but, like...
Now watch this drive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, that's just fucking hilarious. I don't know. But, like, yeah.
Trump
was definitely the funniest.
Trump hit a drive, and he was like, you think Biden could do that? And I was like, I don't think so. But, whatever. Fuck them. They keep screwing us. I don't like the politicians.
Yeah. So, what do we got coming up, dude?
Good question. So we're going to put this Valhalla hike up soon, and we're going to do, it's, I think, an 18-mile hike up Clouds Rest in Yosemite. So we couldn't get Half Dome permits, but we did get some wilderness permits, and we're going to go climb up Clouds Rest. This is going to be a kick in the junk. It is not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. You are high as giraffe's ears up there at Clouds Rest, so the name is fitting, right? It's going to be fun. It's going to be overnight. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to drive to Yosemite. We'll stay the night in these tents in the valley. Then we'll hike up Summit, go back down to Little Yosemite Valley, stay the night there, and then come back down, and then and all the way down to Yosemite Valley, and then we'll stay the night in the tent one more night, and then come back. That's going to be awesome.
I'm really glad it's happening after my August trip, because that thing's gonna whip my ass into shape for that.
It will.
I can't just let a whole bunch of, like, firefighters smoke me, dude.
Not gonna happen.
It's just a bad look.
And we're gonna do that sooner than later, because we got to get these guys working on their program. We have a program written out to make sure they're in shape and ready to go. Because
you just can't train for it unless you're just hiking. Like, it's like trying to get better at running by doing anything other than running. It's just not possible.
And you need to go to elevation. If you can get to elevation, you need to go to elevation.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We're lucky here because we can just drive up to Tahoe, or even Yosemite's not super far. For those of you who are veterans, if you have, I don't know what all the rules are, but they give you this. It's a pass, and it's good for your entire life. If that's not long enough, I can't help you.
Is that the national parks one?
It is the national parks
Yeah.
one. I'm gonna put that there. Okay, so the national parks one's a military thing, and you can go to any national park, and get in for free.
Yeah, I remember me and my dad pulled up to Yellowstone, and we were about to pay, and he was like, "Do you guys have a military discount?" It was right after I commissioned. We were literally on our way back from Kentucky, where I got my commission.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, do you have an ID card?" And they gave me one of those things, and we just trekked through a whole bunch of national parks on the way home. It was awesome.
It's pretty rad. So, and then
we even do that in California. You can't even get a golden poppy pass here as a veteran for less than $120.
Yeah, you can.
You're gonna have to show me how to do that. I mean, for like full, like state recreation areas.
Yeah, this is the state one.
Oh shit! I need to get one of those.
So this is the Distinguished Veteran Pass. So this allows me to go to any state park. I don't pay any parking. I don't do, like even at the, you know how you're supposed to pay down here.
But you're disabled vet. I'm not a disabled vet. I think you have to be disabled for that.
Don't be racist, bro. You might be right.
Yeah,
you're probably right. Okay, and then Frank Villapando, crazy. No, I'm good. Crazy firefighter. Those guys just did the Goggins challenge we talked about. So Frank wants to do a 50-mile hike, and I believe what we're gonna do is like start here in Folsom, go to Sacramento, I think to like the river, to the confluence, I think, and then back or some crap. And it's like it's gonna be 50 miles. It's gonna suck.
Well, Frank, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I'm probably gonna end up doing it. I don't want to, but I'm probably gonna do it.
I'll try. I mean, how long?
I think it's 24 hours.
Oh, fuck. That's a long way in 24 hours. Under load, like with rucks?
Yep. 40-pound ruck.
I will bring a bicycle and cheer you guys on.
I could definitely do that.
I probably, if I take care of my feet, I could.
Yeah.
I have a blister right now from fucking bartending, dude. It's ridiculous. I can ruck 12 miles under load, no problem, but bartending fucks my feet up. It's ridiculous.
All right. Since I was in my wallet, I dug this out. It's going to be Memorial Day. And I used to not do good on Memorial Day. Much better now because I do stuff that is, like I'll do the Murph. I'm probably going to go hike too, but I'll do the Murph.
Murph a couple of years ago on Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's a good ass kicker. For those of you who don't know, Murphy was a Navy SEAL. If you've ever seen the movie Lone Survivor, he is Murph is the guy who was on the satellite phone calling to help get them some help, and he got shot and killed doing that. So, you know, the military, we have these coins, and the one that I carry in my wallet.
This is Michael Murphy right here.
That's Michael J. Murphy. So, the coin that I carry in my wallet is Sergeant First Class Jared C. Monty. And we've talked about him on here before, the schoolhouse where they train fisters at Fort Sill is named for Monty. Monty was my first squad leader. He taught me how to do my job, how to be a fister, stands for fire support team. We call for bombs, artillery, mortars, air support, any of the good stuff. Well, Monty was killed on June 21st.
Here's Monty.
That's Monty right there. He was killed in 2006 in Afghanistan. He's from Raynham, Massachusetts. Really, really outstanding guy, leader. And I think that, number one, his legacy is going to live on forever, not just because he got the Medal of Honor, but every fister is going to learn about him and his legacy and his sacrifice. They're
going to learn how to fish right here at Jared Monty Hall at Fort Sill.
And that is, to me, that makes me happy, man, because Jared embodied what it was to be a great leader, a great friend, great brother, a great soldier. And he was always selfless. There's all these stories. After he passed away, his dad, Paul, listened to all these stories about things that he had no idea Jared did. Like, they were sending him packages in Afghanistan, and Jared was giving like the shirts and the socks and shit away to the Afghani kids, right? That's just who he is. And I think that he's a great representative of the artillery and fist community. And, you know, Memorial Day, it's a great opportunity to say his name and tell his stories. He also, there's a song called I Drive Your Truck by Lee Brice, and that's about how his dad, Paul, dealt with his death. You know, I have all these reminders. I got a lot of friends who were killed. So for me, honoring their sacrifice is very important. I want to make sure that people know their names and their stories and why they're important. And I'm gonna enjoy this Memorial Day. I'm not gonna be sad or any of that other crap. I'm not gonna wallow in, what was or what could have been. I'm grateful that these warriors lived and were willing to fight for something bigger than themselves. And they've sacrificed all their tomorrows for my today. I'm not gonna waste them like I was before. So, to Jared, to all the other folks that have fallen for our country, thank you. Thank your families. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you. I miss my brothers.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna play that video you showed me earlier today to close out the video later. Talking about wasting days, man. I got 5 years off fucking pain pills on Saturday.
Congratulations,
And,
man.
Yeah. So it's been a heavy week. I've been thinking about this a lot. The last guy I bought pills with is dead. One of the primary people that I used to buy pills from is dead. I have said goodbye to probably 4 or 5 more friends since then that are dead. And one as recently as fucking 4 days ago. I'm really grateful that I got out of this shit before fentanyl started killing people, and we talk about this shit all the time.
Number one cause of death if you're 18 to 49.
Yeah.
And you went and, like, you're the one who went to that thing and listened. And what did he say? 90%?
94% of pills seized in Sacramento County last year in 2022 tested positive for fent. 94%.
So you're almost not going to get the drug, Xanax, whatever Percocet you think you're getting, you're going to get fent.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what the pill is, dude. They're almost all fake presses. It's so easy to get. You know, back when I was fucking around with this shit, there's like a code on the pill, and you can just fucking Google it. Like, what is this? You knew what you were taking. A lot of them were tamper-proof. A lot of them were easy to tell that, if it was fake or whatever, especially with opiates. Like a lot of those are tamper-proof. A lot of them have coats. They are hard to counterfeit. Something like Xanax is just pressed powder. You can buy these presses that look 100% authentic online. Yeah. People mix up their own shit. A lot of times it will, like if it's not fentanyl, it's probably the drug you are looking for or an analog of it that's dosed 5 times higher than you're expecting.
Yeah. Or they're putting it on the same table that they had fent on.
Yeah, right. They might not even trying to be cutting it with fentanyl.
Yeah.
They just packed up some shit on the same table before, didn't clean it properly, or they were pressing fent in the same presses, so on and so forth. Or, it is dosed appropriately, but it's not mixed appropriately. So you have what are called hotspots. And when fentanyl started popping up, it was mostly in heroin that they were cutting with like cheap, shitty black tar heroin to make it more potent. And because of the nature of tar, they couldn't mix it up well enough.
Yeah.
And there would be what they called hotspots. So, this little piece that you pulled off and shot up has no fentanyl in it versus the next one has a lethal dose for 10 fucking people. Mm. I don't know. This is all to say that, like, I'm an impulsive person, dude. I do what feels good now. Mm-hmm. I don't really think about future fucking Ryan. That's something I've worked on a lot. It's something Alyssa's helped me with a lot. She always tells me, like, think of your future self, dude. Like, do you really need to have another shot with the boys? Like, you're going to feel like shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, like, you get caught up in stupid shit. But, like, if I can do this shit, so can other people. Mm-hmm. I've never relapsed. I went to therapy. That's what I fucking did. That's not going to work for everybody. Some people are going to need more than that. Some people are going to need chemical assistance. Some people are going to need inpatient detox. Some people are going to need to go to rehab and live in a halfway house. Some people are going to have to get fucking arrested and thrown in jail for them to see the fucking light.
Yep.
But, man, if you're even thinking about, like, this habit isn't fucking sustainable right now, like, you got to come to terms with it. I'm just fucking pleading to anybody, like, don't don't buy fucking pills off the street. If you're going to do it, fucking test it. I hope that you just don't do it. I hope that like I've buried a fucking lot of my friends. Stop taking this shit. That's all I got to say. I'm very proud of 5 years. I know that I don't come off as like, when you think of a fucking addict, like you don't think of someone like me. At least I hope not. Like I never really lied. I never cheated, stole any of that shit. Like a lot of addicts get caught up into. Like for a long time, I wouldn't even call myself an addict, but I was taking pills I didn't want to take. Is that not the fucking definition?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Stop fucking around with this shit, kids.
I'm glad you're still here, man.
Me too.
And cheers to 5 years.
Thanks,
I don't know if we
dude.
should be cheers in a beer, but
Hey.
that's what we got.
Another thing we got coming up, dude, on not much of a lighter note, but we are holding a screening for an interesting documentary. It's going to be hosted by Warfighter Overwatch. We have collaborated with the folks that produce this video to premiere it, or not premiere it. It's actually been out for a little bit, and it has been premiered elsewhere, but premiering it here at least. Where's it going to be?
We haven't got that part figured out for sure. It's probably going to be, I think we said is it Bayside? But or one of the churches. But Fawn was talking about potentially doing it at 3 Stages, which is at the junior college right here at Folsom Lake College.
Okay.
So we may do it there.
It's going to be in Folsom though.
Yeah, and we'll have a screening of the movie, and then essentially like a TEDx style conversation with some subject matter experts.
So I think that's the coolest part. This is not just a screening of a documentary. We're going to have literal subject matter experts that have experienced this firsthand. They're going to come in and they're going to kind of discuss their experiences, and
it's like family friendly. I would say you probably want like teenagers, people who understand the concepts and things like that. But they're going to talk about trauma. It's not a whole lot of triggers and things like that. So,
I want to play this trailer for everybody. Yeah.
I went to a really dark place in my mind where suicide became an option. I was going through a divorce. I had lost a lot of relationships with people, and I was isolating.
While I was trying to heal from the traumas that had put me in the position that I was in,
The pain in her
I
voice
suddenly
just
lost all the
kills you, dude.
support
You
of
can hear it.
all the guys I worked with.
Yeah, shots fired. Shots fired on Buffalo Roof.
About 15 minutes in, I'm just listening, and all you can hear is just people screaming. I was only 2 years into my career with Boston at this point.
I was so hypervigilant, and I couldn't shut my brain off. I remember the moment I was like, okay, I was up all night. It was just trauma after trauma after trauma. You know, the novelty of the job wore off really quick.
I couldn't think of how to get help without ruining my job.
There's a stigma in the profession that creates a barrier, a stigma in their agencies that prevents them from getting the help they need.
I didn't have somebody to talk to. I didn't have somebody that understood.
There was a part of me that said, okay, pick up the phone, call this person. This is how you're gonna get yourself out of this skillfully and safely.
I look back at that period of my life, and I just felt so completely, utterly isolated.
My ego wants to stop me from doing that. It wants to tell me, you got this. You don't need to let anybody know that this is going on.
And that's why I didn't know where to turn, and I beat myself up because I thought, I am such a mess, and I'm the only one.
I have 4 years till retirement, and I gotta be okay, and I gotta make it.
Right now, our profession is being challenged. We're going through a really, really difficult season. There's no time like the present where officer wellness has to be your #1 priority. We have to do a better job as leadership in our profession to understand that is what we're dealing with, people. And I think it's really important that is our #1 resource, and that it has to be our #1 priority moving forward if we want to change this profession.
We're just coming into our second year now of really teaching structured training in wellness, mental health to the Firefighter Academy. Okay, I'm open to trying something different. If you'd told me 4 years ago or 3 years ago I was doing yoga, I'd have laughed in your face. If I could plant seeds throughout the state of wellness, it'll get out there and start permeating and changing the culture.
Man, it's so much better when you have really amazing people in your life that you can walk through this stuff with. You don't have to do it alone.
It's powerful stuff, man. You know, it's one of the reasons we do this is because when you hear their stories and you hear that pain that's in there, or you hear how ashamed they were to even, like Matt said, he didn't want to tell anyone. He's like, all right, you just deal with this, you know. I think about my dad and his generation. I often refer to them as hard as woodpecker lips, right? And they endured things, make these young folks cry and complain a whole lot, and they didn't even have Wi-Fi. So when I think about everything that they went through, right? My dad was raised by folks who grew up in the Great Depression. They were hard. They were very frugal. They didn't waste anything. They kept everything because they didn't know when the government was going to fuck everything up again. You have these people struggling, and they're afraid to reach out. Even though they help people every day, they won't help themselves. They're afraid that it's going to cost them their job, and that's how they provide for their family. And in the beginning, you're happy you got this job, and then halfway through your career, maybe sooner, you're like, I've seen too many dead kids. I've seen too many dead bodies.
That really struck me when she was like, I've been on this job for 16 years. I got 4 left to retirement. I have to make it. So after 16 years, she's still thinking like, I gotta make it. I gotta make it. I gotta get the fuck out. Like
that's that mentality, right? Like I have to endure this because that's the finish line versus thinking about your future self, like you were just saying, right? Because they're not doing it either. And you'll put everyone else before yourself. You'll take care of everyone else before yourself. I was there too. And it took for me to get help, for me to hit rock bottom and say, fine, I'm willing to get help. I had endured a lot of crap, self-induced, admittedly, but eventually I knew I couldn't do it on my own, and I tried to take my own life. I did not want to fucking live this life, and you know how shitty of me to think that. And I even now I think about that would have been such a disgrace to the guys who I talked about who were killed. I wear these dog tags every day of my life with my brother's names on them, and I don't waste my days because I know I'm lucky to have one. I know every time I open my eyes in the morning, I'm fucking lucky. Even if I only got 4 hours of sleep, I don't care. What I want to do is make sure that I'm vulnerable with people so that they can skip that nonsense and get the help so they can feel whole, so that they can start working on their own happiness. And not so much, because I talk about self-care, but I watched this thing and it said like receiving care was more vital than just self-care, right? Being able to...
You can't DIY this shit.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That's something that Rocco said on our Valhalla hike at Devil's Slide has stuck with me since. And he stopped everybody. Yeah. And he said, look, and you know, Matt in that trailer kind of touched on it. It's like, he was like, it's like an ego thing. Like you just drive on.
Yep. And that's what we were doing that day, right? Because it was steep.
Right. It was steep. It was fucking hard. We were sucking. And Rocco stopped the entire thing on the side of a fucking hill. I mean, like half of us can barely stand up.
Yeah, we're just pushing, putting one foot in front of the other. Like we're taught. We're used to this.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he said. He's like, guys, our whole careers we've trained to just fucking drive on. We don't stop and look around. Mm-hmm. He was like, and that's great on the job, but when it carries over into your everyday, you're not doing the things that you need to do for yourself. And if you can't do them for yourself, how the fuck do you expect somebody else to do them for you? Yeah. And I really appreciated that. Shout out Rocco. That was a good message.
So, and we just took the academy, the folks who are aspiring to be firefighters, we just took them on a hike recently and explained that very same thing to them. I said, listen, man, just so you guys are aware, I thought I was like God's gift to the war, man. I was going to go end this shit by myself, or just me and my boys. Well, I was wrong. And the war machine keeps on moving, and it's the same thing. If you get hurt on this job, they replace you. Yep. You're not irreplaceable. As much as we think we are, it's bullshit. They replace you. They move the fuck on. As an organization, they have to, and I understand that. But at the time, you're like, well, I thought I was invaluable to this team. I thought I was such an integral part of this. And the truth is you are, but we're just going to train someone else. And we're going to put someone else who was closer to your experience in your position and get them the rest of the way there, right? Until they can surpass what your knowledge and expertise and all that sort of thing. So we want to do the same thing when it comes to mental health. If you're not doing good, if you're struggling, I want to make sure that you're getting all the resources you can, you know, that I want you to know about them. I want you to know that we exist and that we're here for you. And he was wearing a shirt that's First Responder Wellness, and that's a partner that we have. We send people there all the time from various agencies throughout the state. I think even maybe 1 or 2 out of state. And essentially, this place it's made for first responders. Obviously, it's in the name. They have veterans and stuff go there too, and they teach these guys, number one, to tap into the resiliency that they have. They essentially treat not just their addiction or their psychological problem, but both, right? So they treat their mental health issues, they treat their substance abuse, get them detox, and then get their head clear, and then start getting them to create new habits, good habits, and building out that support system and letting them unload all the burdens that they're fucking carrying, that they've been through, collecting one trauma after another throughout a career. So first off, I'm grateful for our collaboration with First Responder Wellness, but even more, like, I'm grateful that people are going to get to see this when we present it, because it's just going to remind the folks who don't know about this life, because the people who live it, they know it, right? But the average person has no fucking clue what these guys go through. And even the dispatchers, they don't get closure. They know that the fire department or the police have shown up, or the ambulance, and that's it. They don't know if they live, die, what happens.
I'm really glad that they included dispatchers both in this project and in the trailer, because I feel like they're very underrepresented, because they're not seeing it firsthand, but they're hearing it firsthand. And I mean, really, how much better is that?
Yeah.
It's an incredibly difficult job. And
that's why their suicide rates have gone through the roof.
Yeah, it's traumatic, man. It's
especially during COVID.
Yeah.
It went even higher, because now you're not only are you isolating, right? Because you have to. You're going to work. You got to wear the mask. You got to get vaccinated. All these things, whether you agree with it or not, these are mandatory for you if you want to keep your, essentially your city job or whatever. And then you go home. You're dealing with stressed out spouse who's dealing with the kid, who's now the teacher, principal, all that, nurse at the house. You have all these extra stressors, and you're still getting mandatory overtime. The calls are still going up. We're having more and more problems. Then the fentanyl comes. You got all these things, right? There's no respite. There's no relief. There's no one to give you a week or two off. Like, if you take vacation, that shit's the whole time you're there. You're like, fuck, I got to go back to that, right? Yeah. We do not want the people who are doing these jobs to feel like that.
Dude, so I may be off by a factor of 10 here. So but no matter what, both numbers are huge. But Lockhart across the street, when he was giving that, he's a police officer for those at home. When he was giving his presentation at Meet the Leaders, where we heard from the Folsom fire chief and Lockhart, who I imagine is probably like second in command. Mm-hmm. He said that I can't remember if it was 400,000 or 4 million.
Come on, Biden.
Let's just say yeah, right. Let's just say it's 400,000.
Okay.
That's how many calls they received within Folsom city limits last year. 4 million would be pretty absurd.
400,000.
I think it's 400,000. But imagine that's a lot of calls, dude. There's 80,000 people. There's 83,000 people that live here right now.
I think Sac Fire said they get something like that.
It's crazy.
500,000 calls. Is that what he said?
That's so many calls, dude. And I mean, they're working around the clock.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even think that police officers and firefighters get as much love as they should when it comes to mental health. And you can only imagine what it looks like for dispatchers, because they're like, they probably, if I were a dispatcher and I was going through some shit, I would probably think like, well, there's people that have it worse than me. Like that's just that's a normal human thought, right? There's people that have it worse than me. I'm grateful that I don't need to be on the front line doing the shit that they do.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I only have to hear it over the phone, but like they're discounting the fact that a lot of times they're hearing horrific shit over the phone.
Yep.
And then you're right, they don't get any closure because it's not like somebody's just going to tell a random dispatcher about a ongoing investigation or whatever. A lot of times they find out because, they can, sometimes they go to court and find out, but like those are few and far between, dude. It's not like they get to get closure on every single one of their calls.
And think about this. You're a firefighter and you have to provide mental health, right? Or you're dealing with someone who's struggling. And the police officers and firefighters are not trained to deal. We're talking minimalist, trained to deal with someone who's going through a mental health crisis. That was never their, job description or part of their duties, right? Like, maybe if you're going to transport someone to back when we used to have these insane asylums, they put people in straitjackets and padded rooms and shit, but they don't fucking do that anymore.
Who ended insane asylums? What president?
No idea.
I feel like it's either Reagan or Nixon for some reason.
Probably.
Dude, so way wild tangent, but have you heard the Nancy Reagan story?
I don't know. No.
About how she was like the throat goat of Hollywood?
Oh, yes. I did hear about that. I forgot all about that.
We'll save that for another episode.
All right.
All right. So we're gonna end this one with a video that Danny showed me earlier. I'm assuming this is. It was released a couple of years ago around Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's for Memorial Day. I think we did it in like 2018 or something like
with
that.
Black Rifle.
Yeah, Black Rifle Coffee did it. I'm actually gonna go meet with the guy Alex who filmed this tonight.
Oh, nice.
He's the guy I'm gonna go hang out with. He's done some really cool stuff. I want to introduce you guys. Super cool dude.
I'll nerd the fuck out with that guy.
He's my favorite Air Force vet, and here's why. Whenever I tell anybody like, "Oh, this is my boy Alex. He's a vet. He was in the Air Force," and they always come with the Chair Force jokes and everything else, and I'm like, Alex smoked more people than you could ever fucking imagine, bro. Listen, he did the same job that I did in the Army, but in the Air Force, it's a little different because they're special operations.
Was he a TAC P?
Yep. Oof. And he got to go do all the cool guy stuff with the Army special operations. And so he got to do a lot of dirt. And I'm like, not this guy. Don't say that. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
He didn't get a chair.
Yeah, right.
But it's, he's such a cool, humble person. And I'm grateful that they reached out to do this. And it's...
Well, he also happens to be an incredibly talented videographer. So
he is.
Shout out Alex for making this, starring our humble founder and host, Danny O'Neill. Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
That began after the 16 years after 9/11. America's longest war. Shifting focus to America's longest war. Brotherhood's different from friendship. Friendship happens in society. The more you like someone, the more you'd be willing to do for them. Brotherhood has nothing to do with how you feel about the other person. It's a mutual agreement in a group that you will put the welfare of the group, you will put the safety of everyone in the group above your own. In effect, you're saying, I love these other people more than I love myself. You talk to somebody that's gone through it. That's the best thing you can do.
It's not about today. It's about them. the ones that gave their lives. For when a life fades, it's up to us to make sure the legacy doesn't. Never forgotten.